Hi, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a good meal, your dinner. So do feel free to join. Right. So while waiting, just want to share to all our viewers, have a very good evening, and to also our Muslim friends, Selamat berbuka puasa. So we are having this Facebook Live today, and this is actually organized for everyone since all of us are facing the same problem here. But it's actually also particularly towards more on the SME business owners. So to all the SME business owners, this evening FB Live caters for you. And if you have any friends, do tag them. Yes, yeah. So do tag them, say hi, and also tag your friends that are going to benefit so much on this FB Live. Okay, we have very renowned speaker, and it will benefit all of you all. Okay, so I believe you will hear from our distinguished panels of speakers on certain business ideas, strategies, and also views that will help you ride on during this challenging time post MCO lah. So let me introduce you our very distinguished panel of speakers. I would like to say I am very excited and also extremely honored to have this outstanding tax entrepreneur, Dato' Seri Raymond Liu, on tonight live talk to share with us his invaluable insight into the business survival planning, where his observation is that it's no longer survival of the fittest, but survival of the fastest. And most importantly, thank you, Dr. Raymond Liu, for coming because he believes in giving back to the society, more so during this MCO lockdown period. So welcome, Dr. Sri Raymond. Okay, and also next up will be Dato' James Foo. Now, Dato' James Foo is a leading expert speaker, author, and also entrepreneur in the field of business growth. He has founded over 80 companies in 3 countries across 13 trade sectors. So that's amazing. And he is also served as a co-founder of Authority Institute and a co-creator of New Profit Framework. He's also known as a business McGuire. Dato' James is also recognized as a global serial entrepreneur, published author, and also a sought-after keynote speaker. So shall we welcome Dato' James Wu into the studio? Right. Okay. So thank you very much, Dr. James. And also, we have one of the very outstanding millennial here, okay, Michael Teo. He is the founding CEO of Thriving Talents, an award-winning training company dedicated to help sales professionals and entrepreneurs. Michael and his team has helped Fortune 500 companies across 41 countries, even had Barack Obama visited him in one of his training sessions with Microsoft. Now, he is really a spectacular person and a real model to many young generations. Okay, so let's welcome Michael Teo with us. Hi. Oh wow. Hi. With the heart shape. So viewers, please give us your hearts and your likes over here. Okay. And last but not least, I would welcome Yvonne. Okay. Yvonne is a co-founder of Elevate, who is one of the brightest stars in the wealth and financial industry. Her most remarkable accolade being one of the youngest caught off the table before age of 30 in an insurance company. She and her team are currently making waves and impacting more lives by advocating the importance of financial fitness. So I would like to welcome Yvonne here. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
So we
everyone.
have Right. So we have all the panel speakers with here, and I am Sabrina, your moderator for today, Yvonne's partner in Elevate. So today's topic is very interesting. So I would like to ask, before I start, I would like to ask all the audience, okay, this one question. Maybe you guys are aware or not, but this is the question because looking at the trend now, it's no longer the survival of the fittest, but survival of the fastest. So I would like the audience to type your answer. How many registered companies are there in Malaysia as of 2019? Okay, right. Type it down. Okay. how many registered SME companies are there in Malaysia as of 2019? I think Dato Sri will know also.
It's all in his
50,000. 50,000. Wow, okay. 50,000. All right. So in fact,
your voice is cracking. I can't hear you.
Oh,
Sometimes internet connection, but it's all
yes,
good.
it's all
Yep.
good. So we have answers coming in: 50,000, 100,000, 3 million, 5 million, 200,000. All very good guesses. Okay. So according to SSM, there is 1.3 million as of 2019 December. Okay.
Find
so
it difficult to hear you.
I think it's the
the internet.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's all good, Dato Sri. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So looking at the ratio that we have, it shows that SME represents.
I can't hear you because something is wrong with the internet.
Oh, I think right. Yeah, maybe it's to
Yeah, you can
reconnect. Yeah,
reconnect
reconnect.
again.
Okay.
Excuse me.
We will wait for you, Dato Sri.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we will wait for him, and I
Aura
shall.
too strong. It's aura very strong.
Aura very.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, okay, let's continue on. So that is true. We have 1.3 million. That shows how big the SME has how big portion and percentage has the SME represent in Malaysian company. So as we all know that some industry are really badly affected. For example, food and beverages, travel, tourism, and also the airline, right? Okay, and we also realized that some of the companies that are also thriving during this season, for example, hand sanitizers, pharmaceutical, chemical disinfection. So having all this said that, right, many big companies are also badly hit. But we also realize, and some of the small companies are able to adapt well during this thriving situation, which leads us to the topic today, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions along the way, we will answer as many as possible as time permits. So if you have any question, do write down on the comment there, all right? And yes, shall we start? Okay, so the topic for today, I would want to post it, the first one, to Dato James, okay? Please share with the viewers the business landscape where everyone advocates that during a downtime, it's the case of a survival of the fittest, while you are advocating that now is the case of survival of the fastest. Yeah, maybe you can share with us on your view on this case. Pass it to you.
How much time do we have for this session?
We have as long as it takes. No lah, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
We are having
I better say first, because when Michael starts, right, then he will overshadow me already, So quick one, just a quick one. My thoughts is, I think instead of focus on survival of the fittest or fastest, if I may, it would be the survival of the wisest, because speed also kills. Right? If you do not know what you're doing and I give you a very fast car, can you imagine where you'll be driving? Very close to another realm. So I think instead of focusing on fittest or fastest is actually the survival of the wisest. So he who's wise right now will actually see much further than a person who is more uncertain. So yeah, that's a quick one. Michael, what do you think, man?
Thank you so much, Dato James Foo. Hey, everybody. Hello over there, all the way up on Facebook. Hello, Yvonne. Hello, Sabrina.
Hi.
Excellent to be part of our show together tonight. Dato James have clocked in a significant milestone, if I may, Dato James. Dato James is just too humble. Need people to tell you all what he has gone through. He has co-founded, partnered, invested in over 80 companies.
Yes.
And when Dato James say it's not really the slowest or the fastest, but the wisest, he speaks a lot of truth in it. And I agree. you need to be fast, but at the same time, you need to know what you're doing. That is
Correct.
why wisdom comes in. So I would agree that I think for SMEs now to pivot or to innovate, they need to, number one, not only do it fast enough, but number two, do proper research, get to know what are the available infrastructures that are available for them that they can utilize. And I'm very excited to be here with all of you right now watching this over on Facebook, because we're going to have a very, very fun session. So I do hope you all post some questions, all right? And we have Dr. Sri back with us already. Excellent, all right? So Sabrina, I need to repeat the question so that Dr. Sri, Dr. Sri is like our grandmaster here, our grandmaster here. So I just want to make sure that everyone that's watching on Facebook now, type in your questions. Let's have a good interaction here. Again, we're going to give you a lot of wisdom, but I'm always a believer in this. The quality of your life is often determined through the questions that you ask. So if you ask questions, you get your doubts cleared, you will then know you're not walking into a landmine. You're not walking into darkness. But if all of you just pretend to watch this like another Netflix, you have all these burning questions and you refuse to ask, you would have wasted an opportunity. It's not easy to get Dato' James here. It's surely not easy to get Dato' Sri Raymond Liu himself here.
Yes,
so
yes.
all of you to take advantage of this, okay? So if my advice for entrepreneurs, what to do after this MCO is lifted, correct, be fast, but be fast while being wise, and at the same time, take action. Easy now to see who will take action. Those of you who take action, can I please see you go to the comment section right now on Facebook and go and comment there, yes. Go and comment there, yes, guys. Go ahead, go. All right, thank you, everybody. Go ahead. Now, back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you so much, Michael. I think what James mentioned just now was very true and very practical. I like James when he mentioned about not just the fastest, but also the wisest. Wise word from the wise men. Now, Dato' Sri, just now when you were away for a while, we actually mentioned about one of the question on about this thing. Please share with us, the viewers, okay, the business landscape where everyone advocates during this downtime. It's not just about the business, but now it's talking about the fastest. Any advice on your side or any insights from you?
Well, my two learned panelists already mentioned, so I'm guided by them. After all, they are all the expert. Where you have their comments already. From my perspective,
So
if you have
humble.
heard, well, because I do not know as much as the two gentlemen here. They are young and vibrant entrepreneurs. If you have heard of the early birds that catches the worm, and that's the reason why it's no longer survival of the fittest. It is primarily the fastest. If you're not fast enough, other people will take over the opportunities. So again, back to the so-called the idiom of opportunity only knocks once, not anymore. Opportunity will never knocks if you don't go and look for it. So the whole post-MCO is very, very different from the pre-MCO. And if you would ask anyone, your viewers, where are you now compared to pre-MCO? Everyone give you similar answers. Post-MCO and pre-MCO will never be the same again. And that is definitely for sure. And we have to adjust ourselves to the new normal. And that's the reason why, more reason for each and every one of us here, the 5 of us here, to really move fast in order to catch that worms before other person catches that worms. And today's topic, we are going to discuss on how fast we are going to move. And I shall refrain from going any further in case, I take the punchline away. Back to you, Sabrina.
Okay, thank you so much for your wise words from all three of y'all. Okay, do you have, Yvonne, do you have any insights from your side?
Well, I think after hearing all the wise men here, I think all the most wise words have been mentioned by all of them here, especially Dato' Sri Raymond, Dato' James, and also Michael Teo. So I think I will just do a summarize. Yes, I agree that we need to not only be wise and also take action fast. So I believe our audience here also take action very fast. A lot of them type in agree and yes, and yeah, all these are the action taker. So all these are the fastest. Yes, you guys, you're on the right track. Okay. So for me is not only we have to take action fast, but to adapt fast as well. So I've seen a lot of brands, they actually take action very fast because they adapt. They accept whatever is ongoing instead of sitting down there waiting for things to change. They decide to take things to change first. Yeah. So I think it's adaptation and also being wise and take action fast, like what all the Sifu and all the gurus here say. So back to you, Sabrina.
Very, very well said. Okay, so I was just summarize. Number one, being wise. Number two, taking action. Number three, and also to adapt to adapt. All right, and all these things is very important. So guys, take note of these 3 points. All right. So let's go to the next question. Okay, with many setbacks faced by SMEs for survival in the current pandemic, will the bigger fish be swallowing up the smaller fish, like literally saying lah, huh? So let me pose this question to Dato' Sri.
I thought you should be posting the younger people here, you know. After all, if I were to say it, that would be fair. Perhaps you want to put it to Dr. James first and Michael, okay?
Okay, I will let Dr. James mention first.
Somehow I thought pass to the ladies first, right? But I'm fine anyway. Yeah, you know, because Raymond's been very humble about it. But I just say, right now, I think instead of focusing on big or small, I always want to focus on what's right and what's wrong. I think right now is to decide. A lot of people decide what's right, what's wrong, right? And I want to say that there is no right and there's no wrong. There's only what's better for you. A lot of people try to find, oh, this is the wrong way, this is the right way. I think there is no right or wrong way. A lot of people say there are actually such a thing called bad habits. And personally, I don't think there's such a thing as good or bad habits, right? All habits are bad. So by having that frame of thought, all habits are bad. Why do I say all habits are bad? Is because habits actually drive a very, what we call a subconscious state of mind. Like, how do you go home sometimes? Hey, how do I go home some days? It's because you have unconsciously driven yourself home. And because it's a habit, right? Sometimes when the younger days, you get drunk and then somehow you appear home, you don't know why. It's a habit.
Right.
But I would say that it's very dangerous. So instead of focusing on habits and focus on what's fast or slow or big or small, it's focused on basically what's better for you right now. Back to you, Sabrina.
Okay, that's very different. When I heard you mention about all habits are bad, I'm like, oh, okay, what does it mean? It actually catches me. So I think it's back to what is better for each and every one of us. Something that's good for me doesn't mean that it's good for James, or something that's good for Michael doesn't mean good for Yvonne. So I think it's individual basis. All right. So what about you, Michael? What do you think about on your side?
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Sabrina, I'm going to do something really special for our Facebook followers right now. For those of you who are watching me, you're thinking, Michael, focus, pay attention. I'm actually looking at all of you right now. Okay. In fact, as I'm looking at all of you right now, my dear Facebook friends, I would like to reinforce what Dato' James has mentioned, but I want to tie it back to a question that we have gotten from Dato' Bon Zainal, yeah? The Dato' Bon Zainal himself. Hey, good to see you here. And Dato' asked, coming from retail, consumer behavior is changing. We need to adapt, and how do we do this? You see, Dato' James was talking a lot about adapting is learning, okay, being open. And to answer Dato' Bon Zainal's question right here, I think it's very important right now, number one, for us to recognize that consumer behavior is changing. And how do we adapt to it? I think number one, it comes from research. But I know people have been saying, do research, do research. Everybody can say that. I think the first thing we got to do is to look at some hard data. Go online, look at the consumer associations that are available. In fact, I would even recommend checking with digital agencies, checking with even Google. I know that Google, if you make inquiries or if you search online, they do actually publish data of how our consumers are now behaving online. Knowing that right now with the consumer trend, at least we have hard data to back up whatever assumptions we have first. So number one is hard data. Number two, this is one of the things that I teach in my classes because I assist a lot of SMEs, a lot of sales professionals now to get higher value clients and double their sales by building their authority. So one of the things that I always share with them is look back at your current top 10 paying customers. That means customers that have transacted with you during this COVID-19 crisis or during this MCO. And just ask them, why did they still continue to do business with you? Because at the end of the day, these 10 customers, they can give you the characteristics, they can give you some expectation of why they did business with you, and what you need to do is take what has worked, scale it up. Because most possibly these 10 top paying customers that is transacting with your business right now is going to dictate the trend of your customers coming up. And last but not least, when you talk about the art of adapting, I'm always a believer in either you follow the trend or you set the trend. If you were to set the trend, this is a golden opportunity to go into joint ventures, where you joint venture with other businesses that you may not have joint venture before. In fact, one of my mentors reminded me, which is why I advocate this joint venture model. He said now, at a crisis like that, even your competitors may become your friends, because everyone's thinking, how can I serve my customers more? How can I get into new customer markets and segment? So I just thought I summarize this sharing, again, advocating what Dato' James has mentioned about always needing to learn. It's not whether it's the step of right and wrong, right? So you want to take the right step. And I believe the right step, it comes down to really collaboration, joint ventures, understanding your top 10 paying customers right now, and having hard data to give you some glimpse, some preview of what the future consumer trends would be. Back to you, Sabrina.
Wow, thank you so much, Michael. That was really a genius. Thank you so much, Bon, for asking that question. Guys, if you have, or girls, if you have any questions, please leave at the comment below. Let all this expert explain to you and also give your invaluable insights and also experience advices. Okay?
Sabrina, Sabrina, if I can share, yeah? For those of you who are wondering about questions to ask, let me convince you all one more time. Dato' James have partnered, invested, co-founded 80 over companies. He have seen many F-ups, survived many recessions before. Ask a question or not, normally to get his time, come on, if it's consulting, I can imagine the price, yeah? Dato' James, you look at Dato' Sri Raymond, Dato' Sri Raymond, like I mentioned, our Grand Sifu, in fact, he was the one that also recognized us, me particularly, in Traveling Talents with the McMillan Woods Global Awards as well back in 2015. Thank you again, Dato' Sri, for Young Talent of the Year. Having said that, Dato' Sri Raymond has consulted many businesses, helping them with their financials, tax strategies. He is, a lot of people can share with you all marketing and sales idea, but to get someone to share about strategy from Dato' James, to talk about financials or financial prudency or sustainability, you would have Dato' Sri Raymond. And for those of you who work with me, Michael Teo, we work with Fortune 500 companies. We are literally here to answer your question, literally for free. So guys, you have any question, Dato' Bon Zainal has already did his part. Thank you again, Dato'. For those of you, please type down your question. There's no right or wrong answer, okay? Just want to set that, Sabrina, for you guys. If you guys like what you're hearing, go punch the thumbs up button, guys. Punch the thumbs up button. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much. In fact, I think, Michael, you mentioned it very correctly, because we have two very outstanding speakers here. So guys, please take this opportunity to actually ask more questions and ask good questions as well, right? So you were talking about more towards getting hard data and also adapting to the new norm. At the same time, I like what you mentioned about being joint venture. I think this is something very interesting, because you mentioned that sometimes enemies also can be friends. So it is a very good thing that we can learn from during this time, right? So I would like to hear from Dato' Sri every time the wise person speak behind, right? So what about you, Dato' Sri? What do you think about this? About the big fish swallowing the smaller fishes?
Well, the viewers have heard the two learned young men. I'm the bad guy. I always beg to differ. To kick off, I would agree to disagree that all habits are bad habits. In fact, all habits are habits. We are all creatures of habits, okay? And we do not like change. In fact, there's no bad or good habits. Habit is habits, yeah? How you drive home every day, you should know better. Either you go back to your wife, or you go back to your girlfriend, or you go back to your siblings. There's no bad, there's no right or wrong. Habits is in habits, and that's where I beg to differ. Unlike Michael Teo, I do not know how to teach. I'm very bad at teaching, but I believe I'm good at sharing experiences and sharing knowledge. And that's what makes me different from a teacher and a student's relationship. I'm more of a person who like to share experiences. Now, one of you mentioned about the strategies. If you have gone to one of our seminar talk on the 36 hibernating business strategies, you will find that it comes in very useful for survivals. However, based on the questions that Sabrina asked earlier, I do not think that we have actually answered that questions. It's about the change in the business trends. With the many setbacks faced by SME for the survival in the current pandemic, will the bigger fish be swallowing up the smaller fish? Now, what this meant, if I understand your question correctly, we need to understand what is the current state of economy. Allow me to elaborate because I'm more of an accountant, come economist, come business strategist.
Go ahead.
If you start with me, I did pose a question earlier to some of you. Where are we now compared to the pre-MCO? Seriously, we are having this recession, which to me is the mother of all recessions, like it or not. And practically all the supply chain worldwide is completely disrupted to a standstill. Already, there are many casualties. Some of us here can feel it, even I can feel it. More so for the self-employed Malaysians. Let's not talk about other people, but Malaysians. And this includes accountants and lawyers. They've really lost their livelihood during the MCO in the COVID-19 pandemic. Like it or not, even Dr. James is affected, okay? Many business owners are now focusing on surviving month by month, okay? Due to lack of sales or zero sales, even in the insurance business, the like of what Yvonne is doing. The SMEs are finding it difficult to pay the ongoing high costs. Example, staff salaries. You have heard of these mall rentals. Everyone is, talking about it. The statutory payments, which is causing them severe cash flow problems. Bear in mind cash flow issues, cash flow syndrome. That is a keyword for our discussion later on. Together with the uncertainty of when the MCO will be lifted. Now, even if the MCO is fully lifted, I use a fully lifted, presumably on 9th of June 2020, sales will still be very slow, if not somewhat soft, as consumption will not intensify overnight. Because you and I are all very cautious. And I'm sure the social distancing for us to 𝐿 also very difficult already. Will continue for another 6 to 9 months until end of the year. Collections from customers, if you are in business, will be slow, if not delayed. As other business owners are also facing the same cash flow situation. So what does that mean? It means you need to inject capital for working capital, and business owners need to inject their private saving into the business. The government is encouraging business owners to borrow loans. Now, with all the economic stimulus packages, it has offered very little help. And seriously, much financial aid is still needed. Many of the SMEs, if you remember, were overjoyed when the government relented to allow the private sectors to embark on a discussion with their employees for a mutual pay cut. Do you remember that? In order for the business to survive. Then after that, that was, if I remember correctly, was 31st of March. Then on 6th of April, okay, a week later, the special stimulus package for SME was subsequently announced. One of the financial aids was to provide SME with wage subsidies based on the 3 tiers of employee level, if you remember. And that brought cheers and smiles to the SME. Everyone said, oh, yeah, the government is doing the right thing. Unfortunately, those smiles will wipe off the face of the SMEs sooner than they learn, when they learn that the employee and employers, upon agreeing on a mutual pay cut, the companies do not qualify for the wage subsidies. Now you cannot smile anymore. To me, surely this decision by the government basically takes away the true spirits of entrepreneurship, where both employers and employees are doing what they can jointly, mutually, for the business survival. Now, without the wage subsidies, how then can company survive, bearing in mind the poor sales and poor collections, at least until end of the year? Now, without the wage subsidies, the only avenue for company, for you and I to survive, is to immediately reduce your headcounts. Such drastic action will surely spike up the country unemployment levels, which is not what the government wants. But if it does, it will create social ills. Now, you have heard of the special relief funds. We are not doing justice if I don't talk about a little bit about the special relief funds, because with the special stimulus package, the fund was increased to 5B for SMEs, but they were all gone in no time. So recently, the government announced another 5B, and again, it's all gone in no time. The fund has all dried up. Let's face it, the bank, okay, will generally provide loans as a priority for the existing good customers, as what Michael was saying, good clients, while the new customers will have to join the long queue. Certainly, with the moratorium period of 6 months from April to September this year, many of these SMEs are already taking advantage of stopping payment for the existing loan. But what will happen come October 2020? Bearing in mind the deferment of EPF, I do not know whether you're aware of that. That is also deferred until September, which means payment is due on 2020. And it will be a double whammy on the SME to make payments on both the loans and the EPF contributions. On that note, I'm not going to elaborate any further, but to say that it is timely now for SME to look into opportunities for some kind of get-together, merger or acquisitions. And that's where your question of the bigger fish eating the smaller fish. Meaning to say, if you're the bigger players, you probably could absorb the smaller players and you save on common costs, the like of perhaps rental, utility costs, and whatsoever. And this is where we need to relook into these questions of yours, which is very important for survival of the SMEs. I will elaborate more at the later stage, but I'm only handling the question that you raised, Sabrina. Unlike Jim, who's a wise man, he talks about things that a little bit beyond my comprehension.
Wow, I think thank you so much, Dato Sri. You really elaborate so well. I think a lot of us, including myself, actually learned from you and on looking into the merger and acquisition to save common costs. I think that's one thing that we have to look into, not just about taking whether who will eat who, but how to actually save costs during this period of time for all the SMEs. Thank you so much, Dato Sri. Wow, okay. And yes, guys, this is one of the answer, all right? And I would actually like to pose one question to Michael, actually. So, Michael, I mean, like, you are the expert in your area of online training, right? And I would like to know, maybe you can share with us on your views, all right? So I have two questions for you, right? How post MCO is creating the new norm for online training?
Right. Well, first
Yes.
to answer that question, Thriving Talents was severely affected when the MCO was imposed. In fact, when COVID-19 happened, because we built our reputation for having the skills and the expertise to organize large-scale training. But since it hit us, we have to port and migrate all of our lessons online. And I think that online learning has been around for decades. It has been there. I think the key area here is engagement. How can the facilitator engage the participant? So that would be the most important aspect we see here. And I think if you were to ask me, is learning going online? I would definitely say yes, even though I do hear some companies, their staff, their employees really want the training to be done face-to-face. But again, social distancing needs to be observed. And at the end of the day, as a training company, and I'm not only saying this for training company, as a matter of fact, for any businesses, if I get more participants to come to my workshop, to my training, I make more. It's a simple math, right? However, right now, it is up to me as the training provider or any company that's in the service sector that interacts with customers. Do you want to take the risk that one of your customers may be carrying the coronavirus without us even knowing, right? So I think online learning will happen. I think over the span of the next few months, up to 2 years, I already told my team, let's prepare for 2 years. So we are prepared. Because imagine this, people are now thinking after MCO is lifted, just like what Dato Sri Raymond said, that things will go back to normal. But like Dato Sri also said, it will not go back to normal. Number one, consumption takes time to pick up. But let me add another dimension to that. CNN, 3 weeks ago, published that the earliest they could find a vaccine is in the first quarter of 2021. Best case scenario, a safe vaccine. Now people say, oh, okay, so we have to wait through this fever until 2021 first quarter will be saved. Not really. Once they find the vaccine, what needs to happen next? They need to test out the vaccine. They need to make sure the vaccine gets to every single person. So that will take time again. So I would imagine online learning is here to stay. It will intensify. And if you were to ask me what type of online learning is the best, it really comes down to three aspects. Number one, the engagement. Number two, some people just want to attend certain online training for the certifications. Like for ours, when we started our online training, a lot of people will go to HRDF, Human Resource Development Fund, and they just release their circular of what trainings are claimable. So SMEs do check it out. But we went the other way. We went to get our program certified by Securities Commission, which is under Bank Negara. So when it was certified by Securities Commission, endorsed, they started carrying our programs for bankers. We have some class there. So the second element I want to share with you all here is actually about the recognition. Online learning is good, but recognition. Some people, they want the online learning where it's endorsed by certain parties. And the third element that I wish to share with all of you when it comes to online learning, as Datuk Sri have amply put, and Datuk James as well, through his Authority Institute, have built a humongous community of online learners. I would like to say the third element here that's very important for online learning is what happens throughout the engagement. In a sense where how do you ensure the sustainability of your participants' learning? Because last time when it's face-to-face, you can say touch and go, bye, see you. But now you're all connected online. They sign up for your course, they're part of a community. How do you keep on adding value to them? And one last thing, for those that want to offer not only training, products or service, the MCO and the COVID-19 have opened up our world. We are now no longer competing locally, we are competing globally. Anyone can afford our training from anywhere. Our competitors can also look for training elsewhere. You know, things like that has happened. So I hope I answered your question, Sabrina.
Yes. So three things I learned from you: engagement, on the recognition, and also what happens during this engagement. Right? These 3 points, Michael.
Yeah, correct. The sustainability, yes.
Right. So what about business skill? You know, just now I was talking about. So what about
that's
business?
The second question, right?
Yes, that's the second question. What business skills set would you propose to achieve in your online training for SME business owners to help them during this challenging time?
5 business skills right now. Number one, digital marketing skills. I think everyone's going to go online. You got to learn how to market online. Number 2, now that the world has become your oyster, you can service customers abroad. But that also means customers, your local customers, can pick someone cheaper from abroad, which is something that I advocated in all my training. I said, I want to transform sales professionals into trusted authorities because people now need to follow you. They need to know that you are a reference point to add value to their lives. That is what's going to stop them from going for a cheaper alternative or going elsewhere. And they will bring their business to you. So that's number 2. All right. Becoming a trusted authority. All right. Number 3, I believe it's motivation and resilience. Those skills are important right now because of so much uncertainty. And I think for a lot of sales professionals who are leaders in their team or business owners, right now what your team need from you is that firm leadership, is that certainty to guide them. Even I understand you all may not be certain yourself, but at least you come to sessions like this, made possible by Sabrina, Yvonne, with Datuk James and Datuk Sri Raymond. You learn a thing or two, bring back to your team, share it with them, make sure you give them a direction. So motivation and resilience training is more important than ever. 4th, mental health. Teaching your employees or even sales professionals, teaching yourself and your team how to manage your stress. How to look at stress objectively. How to control the inner mindset, that voice that's whispering to you. And last but not least, I would say the 5th skill that everyone needs to learn is how to collaborate online. Not only joint ventures, not only partnership, even how to collaborate with your own team members who are now working from home. So those would be the 5 skills that I would sum up for all of you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Guys, if you have heard him mention about the 5 things, let me just repeat it again. Number 1 is digital marketing skills. I think everybody is into this. And if you are you want to know, there's free courses that's available. All right. Number 2 is about customer servicing your customer abroad. All right. And also number 3, motivation and mental health that you mentioned about how to trained on the mental health and to collaborate. I think I heard a lot of collaboration, merger acquisition from the floor. Okay, so thank you so much, Michael. I think I heard a lot from Michael and James and Dato Sri.
Hey, if you guys are getting value, just go to the comment section and type value, yeah, guys, on Facebook. Thank you. Go type value. Yeah.
So if you guys think that this is really good, please type on in the comment section value. Yeah. All right. So I would like to post actually. Okay, let the lady speak. Normally is the lady speak first. This time I went the other way around, so the lady is the other side. Okay. So let me pose this question to the ladies. All right. Okay, so Yvonne, you are the expert in the financial planning, all right? So at this situation, under this current pandemic environment, is it not an opportunity time for us to review our financial or insurance plan to ensure that we are having a better coverage during times like this?
Okay, thank you, Sabrina, for the question. Before that, I would like to say thank you, Dato James, Dato Sri Raymond, and also Michael Teo. In fact, just now Michael Teo also mentioned that it's not easy to get them, and they have a very big heart. In fact, when I invite them to come and share to everyone, to really give values to help all of us to actually weather this storm together. Like what Dato Raymond, Sri Raymond has mentioned. In fact, this is not just a pandemic. This is more than pandemic. This is a crisis. We are all in this storm together on the different boats. So they have a very big heart. Immediately, you just agree to my invitation and just come here to share. So guys, please ask your question to all these Dr. James, Michael Teo, and Dr. Sri Raymond. They have a very big heart to share. So yes, like what Michael Teo has mentioned, the value of this Facebook Live is depending what are the questions you post. The more questions you post, the more valuable information they share. So, and also Dr. Raymond, Sri Raymond, I can testify that he is a practitioner. He's not just a tutor, but
yes,
from the way he shares, you can see that how much information that he have. He really he's holding himself back now. He wants to share everything he has. Yes, there's so much more in him. So everyone, please get this opportunity to ask questions, okay? Especially on the finance and accounting side, right? That was Raymond. Okay. So back to Sabrina's question. Yes, if you ask me, we are in this storm all together. So at difficult times, we as human beings, we are vulnerable. So when we are vulnerable at uncertainties, that's where we need to protect ourselves. So I think I will use an illustration to describe what I'm trying to say. So financial planning and also insurance planning is very important for us to review. Why? Okay, let me show you guys a treasure box, okay? This is a music box from me. I bought it from Otaru, Hokkaido. But you wouldn't know the music, is it on or not? You don't know whether the music is it working or not unless you open it. And only you realize the music is not working. But what is all inside here are all the jewelry. All these are the important assets that you have gathered, all your hard-earned money, all your hard-earned savings, and your property, which you already exchanged through years and through your blood, sweat, and tears. All these are extremely important assets to you. And you put it inside a treasure box, in your financial plans, and also insurance to protect them. So, if you do not open up, you wouldn't know if the music working or not. Unless you adjust it, you refine it, then only you know your financial plan and insurance plans can protect whatever important assets that you have built across the years or not. So yeah, from this illustration, I hope you guys can really look into it, because at this tough moment, like Dr. Sri Raymond Liu has said, cash is king. Reserve is very important. That is where we really have to review our financial plan and insurance to make sure we are protected in this vulnerable time for us to weather this storm together. Okay, pass back to you, Sabrina.
Wow, when she took out the thing, I thought got something special inside until she turned on the thing. I think it's a very good illustration. Don't you agree? Those that really enjoyed the illustration, can you give me a like or say good job? Good job. Just type on the thing, good job, right? Yes, I think it is very important that sometimes we do not know what is inside the treasure box until we really refine and really retune it from time to time, right? So I think for this situation, it's also a good time for us to really relook into our own portfolio. Looking into your portfolio, right? Okay, I have a question for you. Okay, so let's say, for example, in your treasure box, or let's say how it goes. Okay, if you have $1 million to withdraw from your EPF account today, what will you actually do with this money as a wealth planner? I mean, like, this is actually for everyone. I will start with you first, Yvonne. Ladies first.
The ladies first.
Yes.
Okay. So if you ask me, definitely I think Dato Sri Raymond Liu and Dato James and Michael Teo here definitely have more than $1 million in their EPF. Okay. Yeah. But if you ask me, as a financial planner, what would I do with this 1 million if I have to withdraw from EPF? In fact, I believe everyone knows that through the Age and the Star newspaper in the 22nd of February, our EPF has been the lowest since 2008. Even conventional saving itself is only 5.45%, and Sharia is about 5%. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I have 1 million in your EPF. As a wealth planner, what would I do? So maybe I will use a case study. Okay. I think Michael Teo, you can be my honorable role play model here. Okay, Michael Teo. So
Let's do it.
say yes. So let's say you have 1 million ringgit. So for Michael Teo, because he's still very young, still about 20.
I hope. I wish.
You're still in your 20s. Okay. So
I'm
for
still in
me-
my 20s, 30s already, Yvonne. When you met me, I was in my 20s. Me and Yvonne go way back. Amazing.
yes, I
Okay,
know
but
Michael
go ahead, Yvonne. Go
Teo-
ahead.
Yes, many years already. I'm trying to promote you, but yeah, 20 years. Yeah. So in 1 million ringgit, I will use the leveraging here. How do I leverage? So 1 million ringgit for Michael Teo for his age, but he revealed his age already. But not to worry, girls, he still have. Oh, sorry, he's taken. So sorry.
Yeah,
So
my
I will
girlfriend is playing the PS4 there. Go ahead.
All right, Michael Teo, for you as your age, right? You only need 10% to actually recreate another 1 million of net worth. So let's say you have 1 million, you use 10% to create 1 million. So what is your net worth now, Michael Teo?
I'm very bad with maths.
No
I'm
worry,
very bad
that's
with
the,
maths.
that's the
Enlighten
role
me.
of me, wealth planner, to actually plan it out for you. So
That's right.
yeah, okay. So you use 100,000 to create another 1 million of wealth, and you
Yes.
preserve this wealth. So your net worth immediately from 1 million, it becomes 1.9 million.
Mm.
So you preserve this 1 million with extra 10%. You are leveraging other people's money to create your wealth, to preserve your wealth. So you have the access and liquidity of 900,000 now. So
Right.
with this 900,000, you can use this for any financial goals and dreams that you have. So for example, Michael Teo, he's super young. He's only 20s to 30s, and very honored that he already owned a house. How many of us here about 20 plus can afford to own a landed bungalow, right? Is it Samedi or
Not
bungalow?
bungalow.
Yeah,
Not
I saw
bungalow,
you.
not bungalow. Yeah. Not bungalow.
Yeah.
No, it's a comfortable house. It's a place I call home. You know?
Yes,
Right.
exactly. So, yeah. So for those who haven't got your first house like Michael Teo, in fact, this is the best time for you to utilize whatever, because now cash is king. You have the negotiation power to get a property for your first residential property. In fact, the mortgage interest rate is the lowest now. I think about 3.3%. Yeah. So if you have the cash 900,000, you are the king. You have the negotiation power.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right.
So that
True.
is
True.
what I will advise. Yeah, that I would believe there are a lot more investment opportunity and methods, but I will pass it to the expert, Dato Sri
Yeah,
Raymond Liu.
Ivan, I was thinking, right? Let's hear from Dato Sri and Dato James, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, we also have business owners watching here. And just like me, I'm a business owner. As much as I want to cash out my dividend now and buy another house, I'm thinking about really where can I invest my money into upcoming trends that will make sure that my business not only survive the COVID-19 crisis, which will last for 2 years, but
Right.
at the same time be able to scale my business. Now, truth be told, I wish I knew the answer, but I don't. So it's great. I want to really have Dato' James and Dato' Sri Raymond to share their wisdom here with us. So yes.
Yes. Can we have Dato' James to actually share a lot of things that is inside him and so many years of experience? Yes. Can we have Dato' James to share on this?
Where should I start? But all I know is, based on my age, I'm feeling really old now, thanks to all the Michael, Theo is running further for me. But what I can say is I've been through 5 recessions, and out of the 5, 3, I was fortunate to actually hit 6 to 7 figures. And the only thing that I thought differently at the time was, one example was that was the same time my mother passed away, 2001, right? She passed away due to a breast cancer. Right, and God bless her soul. So what happens is, I felt that my dad spent all his money on saving her, literally, like spending all the money to nurse her back to health. But with the current medicine level that we have,
right,
that's the best you could do. Because doctor said 3 months, she survived, or she sustained for 6 years. So there's a blessing in disguise. So I told myself the only one thing that to do is, or never to do, is to never be poor. So in 2001, when it was an internet bubble burst, right? Everybody was just going on like, it's a horrible thing. What should we do? And I decided to start what we call a nail spa. Of course, if I start a nail spa, everyone will be laughing at me, right?
Very unconventional, yes.
I have no experience in it, probably. Why would anyone listen to me? So in my thought, like, if I want to start a business like this, who would be a strategic partner for me? Long story short, basically, I found out at the time there were a lot of pharmacies was going through a lot of downtime and they had no business. And what happens is I converted one of them. I told the owner, I said, what is your underutilized asset of your company right now that we could help move? And he said, I got so much stock, young man, if you can sell something, I'll be happy. So what happens was I got a product. It was actually a foot spa. Okay, the foot spa. And those foot spa where you soak your feet in and then the bubbles that comes out with different colors. Right, so what happened to that was I actually collaborated.
Yes.
So imagine the pharmacist wearing a white overcoat, and what happened was we did about 1,000 a day, ringgit, 1,000 a day. Or weekends we're doing about 2,000, so about 7,000 to 10,000 a week, give or take. And we had 6 outlets going on, and I didn't have to do a single thing because we had pharmacists serving the clients. As they were serving the clients, they was also selling supplements because you're weak here, miss, your there is aching because of this thing, and sales went up, literally, and that was in 7 months we hit our 6 figures. So yeah, I think right now I know it is doom and gloom. I want to say that I'm not being a Harry Potter here, that everything is not possible, but I want to say that it is possible. Only 3 things you need to remember. Number 1 is who you learn from. Number 2 is what you're reading. And number 3, who you surround yourself with, right? If you just take these 3 down, I've actually surrounded myself with so many more successful people like Raymond Liu and Michael Theo, that I learned so much, literally learned so much. Give you an example. One of my mastermind students, they actually Malaysia's leading hair and beauty, face health and beauty center. They have, I think, more than 20 outlets, and they all closed because of the MCO. Because of MCO and then 0 sales, right? They can't do anything, right? So what we did for them was simple. Mastermind, what was the biggest pain in the market? So for people who are listening right now, Dato' Zainal, you need to solve what's the biggest pain in the market right now, and then the fear, frustration in the future, right? And the biggest pain right now is women at home are suffering to stand up. They'll be promoted to the oil and gas sector, right? Cooking, because the husband giving full comments on it's too sweet or whatever it is. Even the maid is surrendering, and the kids are driving the woman insane. So what we did for the company was pure and simple. We were actually doing what we call a Corona Care package, about 500 to 800 ringgit per packs, and we actually delivered individually to what Michael Theo said was a perfect thing. Who are your top 10? In that case, were top 100 premium clients. And we had what we call a virtual face party. So every Friday, the Datin and whatnot will come online like this, and you got a celebrity to help teach you how to face party together. And the ladies had a ball of time. And 2 weeks ago, online sales for this outlet, 500 600,000, and they are en route to make $1 million by end of this month.
Wow.
It is not such thing as you can't make it. It's because you don't see it. And because you don't see it, you don't make it. So that's my thoughts for you. Back to you, Sabrina.
Wow. I think it's a very unconventional idea. Very out of the box. I think that's why people say that's why you are named the serial entrepreneur. Oh my goodness. Right. Thank you so much for your insights. Guys, if you learned something, please type value. Please type value. I do not know about you guys, but if I'm your place, I will actually type value because I'm actually hosting, so I couldn't do that. But please, guys, thank you so much. Actually, I have seen some questions coming in, but before that, let us ask Dato' Seri Raymond before we proceed for the next question. Dato' Sri, you are in the finance industry as well. We would love to hear on your insights about what will you do with this money. Yes.
Well, like I say, I'm the bad guy, so I give everyone a tough time. But just before I go into that, I just saw a question here addressed to Dr. James about the airline, hotel, and tourism industry. And
yeah, there are quick
questions
coming in.
Any advice to those in this industry to survive? I suggest I covered that extensively in my earlier talk.
Okay.
So perhaps one of you could just refer him to that, and all his question will be answered. Now, I see Michael and Dr. James as the trendsetters. They have new ideas. Young, vibrant entrepreneurs. That's really good. And for a moment, I was thinking that Michael Teo and Sabrina are playing qubits among themselves. I'm not very sure. I'm talking about qubits. What is certain to me is definitely all the uncertainties right now with this pandemic. Now, the question posed to Yvonne earlier on the insurance coverage, I would have thought you should be addressing the sufficiencies of insurance coverage. Are you sufficiently covered? Especially a member of the family, unfortunately, is infected with COVID-19. And that is where I believe I'm trying to sell you now. Am I?
It's my honor to be able to stole by Dr. Seri Raymond.
Your response will be more towards viewers. If you have insurance policies, dig them out, study them. Are you covered for any of these, pandemics, infected disease? If not, you better review. And are you sufficiently covered for your life insurance or whatsoever? And most importantly, in view of the current pandemic, have you got a will? Have you written yourself a will? If not, Yvonne, you should be the one offering to help them out. I mean, that is proposed to you by Sabrina. For that, you owe me coffee.
Oh, thank you.
No problem.
No problem.
Okay, back to now your questions. I'm glad that Dr. James is making lots of money, from his new spa business. I hope the pandemic has not dampened your business. Right now, it has dampened your business. Like it or not, you're not going to bullshit me to say that you have not. You are definitely affected.
Depends on the business. Yeah, you're right. The resort, it is struggling. It is true because it's a lockdown. Our hotel business, yes, no doubt. But I want to say that depends on which sector there is an opportunity is where we focus our attention on. That's all I'm saying.
I have the liberty of studying all the industries, so I take the liberty of knowing which will survive and which will not. There was one question earlier who asked about the survival of those industries, which I will respond later on. The reason why I'm right, Dr. James, because I'm on your right. That's why I'm always right. I'm on your right. That's why I'm always right. Okay, the question is to, if you have $1 million to draw out of the EPF, what would you do? Question is quite simple. For young men like Michael Teo, for example, primarily, if I were you, I would not expose myself to any uncertainties. Therefore, I will use that money to perhaps pay off the loan interest. Even though it may be low, at least you pay off your loan interest. And that will help because, by the way, resident interest is not tax deductible. So why bother to pay for an expense that's not tax deductible for a start? Second, if you have spare cash in the EPF withdrawal where the dividend paid out is quite small, you can take the opportunity of looking into the capital market. If you don't know how, study the capital market. The rule in the capital market is never borrow to invest. Invest only with spare cash. That is the golden rule. Never be a smart Alex and go on margin calls. You will suffer. Now, right now, you have seen a lot of blue chips company doing extremely well. For example, the glove industries, Top Glove, Hartalega, all these are doing extremely well. Today, the Bursa just announced they make some 38% higher than anticipated profits. So to those of you who already benefited from it and bought shares in them, it is also timely. Now, there's no such thing as buying at the lowest and selling at the highest. Okay, that's wishful thinking. It's like, I want to marry Yvonne, and Yvonne is the best girl in town, but I do not know what's the term. You never know, okay? You will never know the consequences until you will come face to it, okay? Important thing is, you sell at what you deem to be low, what you deem to be high, and you buy what you deem to be low. So right now, with those kind of shares, you may want to consider, if you have shares in them, to sell them. With the extra cash, look into stocks that you can purchase. Example, I'm not asking you to buy, okay? Example, 𝐿𝐴𝐽. Okay, just an example. They have very good asset base and whatsoever. Okay, Dato' Eddie Chung is a good friend of mine. I'm not asking you to buy 𝐿𝐴𝐽 just because I'm buying it. Oops.
Thanks for the tips. Oops.
You need to study it and then be brave about it. Okay, stock capital market has a lot of potentials. I know of people who make money from capital market without having to do any work. Okay, to those of you who want to buy properties, like Michael was saying earlier, with the spare cash, I may want to buy another properties and rent it out. Think again, the whole spectrum of the rental market has changed, evolved. People no longer, in times to come, you will find that the shopping mall will be less of an interest to all 5 of us here to go to the mall. We go online shopping. Okay, more suffer in the near future. All right. So if that is the case, many people will be working at home, work from home online. So even if you buy properties, you are going to experience lower rental. So whether to buy additional properties to rent out, think again. I do know of a friend very close to me. He bought many properties. He made tons of money during the pre-MCO. Right now, the game has changed. The whole game has changed. So think again. So what can you do with $1 million? A lot. Okay. For young people like Michael Teo, of course, you want to look into some kind of reinvestment so that you enjoy future growth and future gain. For someone like James, perhaps marry another wife. I don't know. Engage in another business. Another business. What am I talking about? I was referring to the business of my wife. Sorry. Normally talk can be quite mundane, so I took
Michael Teo, me and you no more after this call. Right?
James, I need to invest in another. Seated opposite of you, my girlfriend playing PS4 next to me now.
So what is important, perhaps for someone like Dr. James might consider, another business, but no longer in the spa business, because that one pre-MCO you're fine. Post-MCO is over and gone. So you have reaped the benefits. Now you need to move on to something that is more of current, the post-MCO scenarios. For someone that perhaps, because as a wealth planners, you might consider beefing up your premium so that you get sufficient tax reduction or relief out of your tax returns. And if you ever have a property, perhaps it is also timely to look into buying a properties, because right now cash is king. You can buy properties at a very good discounted rate. Okay, Sabrina too. To those of you who have bought a property before or pre-MCO, sorry, you're caught, you're picked in the middle, you're caught. And had you waited, but then, hindsight is 2020, no one can predict, right? And you waited, possibly save another God knows how many more percents, okay? And that could amount to many, many thousands. So whatever it is, the $1 million has different value to each and every one of us, the 5 of us here. If I have another $1 million, it will probably be another $1 million, and I'll probably spend it on all of you.
Oh.
And I'm sure Dr. James
Thank you so much.
knows I enjoy entertaining my friends. I have
very true. He organizes the most prestigious parties and gatherings.
I donate to charity. I donate a lot to charity. In fact, as a sign of respect for my late father, every year I donate at least 100,000 to charity, and that is respect for my late father, who is was a very charitable person, never failed to give up what he doesn't need. See, the extra money to the underprivileged society means more than you and I at times. So let us all be generous and give back to society. I can go on and on about $1 million, but I better pass it back to you because we are already past 1 hour. So back to you, Sabrina. We will talk again.
Yes, but there's so many valuable insights from you, and I cannot stop hearing from you. Thank you so much for your advice. I think for Dato Sri, at different age, he will advise for different kind of investments and also different kind of portfolio that they will invest to. So thank you so much. And viewers, if you are in the particular age group that Dato Sri has mentioned, please do take that advice. All right. I think we have some flaws. We have some question from the floor. Can we go to Francis Tan? This is posted to Dato Sri. How many percent? I mean, it is small. This is under Francis Tan.
I'm reading, sorry, can I take over? I'm reading Francis Tan. How many percent I know it is small of SME to your knowledge do thrive during this MCO, especially those companies that happens to be in this infectants business, glove suppliers, pharmacy.
Correct.
Now, glove industries, definitely they're doing well. They are on towards the high end. But let's not forget, certain FMBs are also doing well. I mean, for example, not that I'm here to advertise, vanilla milk cakes, for example, under Nelson Liu. This young, vibrant entrepreneurs, he has been selling his cake with a lot of innovative ideas, and he's doing extremely well. To many FMBs, he is a role model. And I've always praised Nelson because of his ability to innovate and move in this difficult, challenging time. Therefore, as to the question raised by this Francis, yes, there are a lot of businesses that are doing well, but then you are in the same, for example, let me give a good example, is the thermometers. When the thermometer was first introduced, you're looking at paying 350, 390 ringgits for a thermometers. And the price today, after 6 weeks, you can get it for 145 ringgits. Now, if you're all in that business competing for the same in the market, ultimately, the gainers will slowly die off. You should be like what Nelson Liu is doing. Be innovative in the business you know best. And his cake is very innovative. He come about with different design. For example, he came about with the Milo design. He sent me a cake for Mother's Day. And my 7-year-old daughter was, overjoyed. But it's a bit sweet for her. But having said that, the innovative ideas really, really for some peculiar reason, people buy into it. And that's the beautiful thing about these young, if I may call them trendsetters. They are really good at it. Okay.
Yeah, I want to highlight on Nelson as well. He also actually came up with a diet cake, a healthy cake, the charcoal flavor of vanilla milk crepe. Yeah, so, and his cake is actually fully sold off during Mother's Day. Can you imagine? Wow. Fully sold off. My goodness, yeah. So just want to testify what Dr. Sri Raymond has mentioned.
Very innovative, yes.
Well,
yes.
Having said that, I must also say that Secret Recipe, who is my client, Dr. Steven Sim, he's also a pioneer in this game. He has been in it for so many years, has been making, a very big business out of it. They also come about with innovative ideas, and his son has taken over. If only they can come together with Nelson, I'm sure they can create miracles.
Wow.
Yeah. So whatever the situation, most importantly to the young people, be innovative, dare to take the challenge, be a trendsetter, take the risk. If there's no risk, there's no gain, right? So we should all take the risk at some stage. Like Dr. James Fu has taken the risk of doing the spa, and now he has made a lot of money. He's going to take back and say, now I can close shop and move on with my money and do something else. That's reality of life. Okay, I will pass it back to you. Instead of proceeding to explain more, it's now 10:10. So if you have some questions that you want to,
we will take we will take a few more questions. Okay.
Yeah.
So one question is talking about from Annie Tan. Okay, many are suffering financially yet don't take action to change. How do you explain such behavior? May I post it to Dr. James?
That is more of a Dr. Sri Raymond question, but I'll give it a shot, right? I'll give it a shot. Why are many suffering financially yet they don't take action? Only two things come to mind. Only two things. Number one, they're probably not suffering enough. You know, like that. You see a lot of stories in the past. We told us like the dog who sits on a nail. It's just not painful enough to get up and move, right? So they're probably suffering, and that's why that's one reason. Number two, it probably is also who they surround themselves with, and they're actually what we call in the face of uncertainty, and then they are frozen on the track like a deer on a highway. So it's who you surround yourself with, what type of content do you read, because the only content that's circulating right now in the market is 99.9% the same content, which is doom and gloom. COVID's going to last. This will never end. It's like end of the world, right?
Right.
This is a reset. A reset, like, you know, when you break a bone, it's a reset, but there's also a positive reset or a negative reset. So right now, whoever's sitting on your couch, I feel, okay, it's my opinion, right, that now is 150 feet, we call a tsunami. But next year, it's a 1,500 feet tidal wave. Time to build your ark. Time to build your Noah's Ark, if you call it, or time to build your jewel box or war chest, so that next year you can actually ride the wave and not just wait for the wave to consume you. That's my thoughts. Back to you, Sabrina.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. James. I think that's very.
I would like to just add a pointer here. To this particular question is a case of a snake which caught a fish and had say, "I'm saving the fish from drowning." Imagine the situation. Snake caught a fish and claimed that the snake is saving the fish from drowning. And this is exactly the situation right now. A lot of entrepreneurs, they don't realize how bad the situation is. But the moment they realize, it's too late. The wake-up call is over. They are really gone, finished. So either they wake up now and do something about it, or they better start packing up and do nothing.
Right. Very true. So thank you so much, Dr. James and Dr. Sri. I think they really answered your question, Annie. We shall take two more questions because of time constraint. We shall take two more questions. Okay. So this question comes from 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. Can we have advisors? Okay, this is for the young, for Yvonne and Michael. Okay, can we have advisors for young talents who are unemployed? Okay, under 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿. Can I post it to both Yvonne and Michael on this one?
Can I go first, Yvonne?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much. It's my passion right now to help people that are unemployed. And especially when you talk about the young, the millennials, the Gen Ys, the Gen Zs, they're really people that are close to my heart. I started my business, Thriving Talents, was to also serve this generation. So what is my advice for young people who are currently unemployed? Number one, it's good that you realize that you're unemployed. That's the first thing you should know, because some people you'll be surprised. Some people, they're unemployed, they take it as a holiday. They would say, hey, I want to rest for a while at home. The realization is very important. When you realize you're unemployed, you begin to realize that you need to make things happen. That means you need to get a job. And you know why people go into employment in the first place? Why did they get a job in the first place? They get a job in the first place because they wanted something. They wanted money. Money for what? Money for a better life. What is better life? Getting a better car, better house, go for a holiday. That's everyone's dream right now, right? Go for a holiday. So when someone realizes that they're unemployed, it's a good sign. They already realize, they know that they want something, but they cannot get it as long as they remain unemployed. Now, here are the strategies. What do you do when you're unemployed? Number one, the first thing you got to do is you have to first understand if you were retrenched, why were you retrenched in the first place? If your boss say that, oh, I retrenched you because no choice, the business has closed down, okay, fine, not your fault. If you were retrenched because of some inadequate skills that you had, now is the time, like what Dr. James has mentioned, to take action, to learn up new skills. Now, number two, what I would suggest to people is this. If you are thinking that the job offer is going to come to you at your doorstep or going to miraculously arrive to your email, that's not going to happen. So what you need to do is, number one, I know that there are a lot of digital career fairs happening. Go and apply for a job. Here's the catch though. You apply for a job, anybody can give you the advice. But how do you stand out of the 100, 200, 300 people that are out there? So my third advice for them is use LinkedIn. Start to connect with HR practitioners, human resource, learning and development. Try to connect with talent acquisition, talent recruitment people on LinkedIn. All right? Send them a message. A lot of people like to just add them and thinking they'll approve them. Not going to happen. Send them a message. And when you send them the message, here's a tip for all of you, all right? The tip is when you send them a message, you don't actually say, hey, I'm actually looking for a job. Please pity me. Please talk to me. You're not going to get a job like that. What you want to do, you want to tell the potential recruiter that what is the result you have achieved in your previous company. Now, for those of you who felt, hey, I was also working in a company, I don't know what result I achieved, connect with me personally. Happy to share some templates with all of you because it will take up an entire night if I were to guide you step by step, because I need to know your story in order to guide you. But you need to share the results. In the end, people hire you not because they like your face, not because you are inspiring. It is because you can produce certain type of results for them. And you need to communicate that out in your LinkedIn message in 300 alphabets, 300 characters to the potential recruiter. Fourth thing I want to share is go numbers. In a sense where I don't think I only sign up to 3 potential recruiters on LinkedIn, oh, everything is going to be fine. Send it to 30, 50, 100 if you have to. And those that reply, they have shown interest in you. And when they have approved you, they have shown interest in you, you continue talking to them. It's all about engagement. And then when you have that engagement, when a relationship is built, that is when you go and then ask for a job. Now, some of you watching this must be thinking, Michael, this takes too long. I want a job now. Again, you want a job now? Go ahead, ask your networks, like what Dato' James has mentioned. Surround yourself with the right people, or go to career fairs, polish up your CV, do a video CV. In fact, do a video CV so people could see you, differentiate yourself that way. All right? But at the same time, as you are actively looking for all this opportunity, you are also preparing yourself. So how you're preparing yourself, go to social media platforms. LinkedIn is my favorite. Go connect with people there. I've closed $500,000 ringgit deals from LinkedIn before with corporate clients. Do that. So that would be my advice for the unemployed right there. But I think if there are people that still remain unemployed, it's a mindset thing. Really, it's a mindset. If people still don't want to change right now, it's a mindset thing. I would recommend them connect with me. I'm just on Facebook right here. Happy to have a chat with them. Yvonne, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Michael.
Wow, Michael. I know. Okay, whatever Michael says is very true. I will just add on whatever he says. So first of all, I truly agree that you must acknowledge that we are currently unemployed. But after that, whatever Michael Teo has said about going extra mile, doing the number games and going out to social media, actually LinkedIn is a very good space because there are a lot of people are hiring through LinkedIn, especially the HR. So the first thing, how do they know you? First of all, do you know them first, okay? So whatever Michael Teo has mentioned is you reach out to them because you know them. But I think even communication is working both ways. So how do they know you? Who are you? So I think during this MCO, it is very important for us to truly understand who you are and what is your purpose. How do you see yourself, bring yourself into the next 5 years and next 10 years? And the people around you that you mix with is also going to make the difference. So like what Dato' James had mentioned as well. If you want to go for employment, then be the trendsetter. Like just now, Dato' James and Michael Teo has already mentioned about being the trendsetter. In fact, now there are a lot of amazing ideas, startup ideas. You see Grab, you see a lot of like Lala Move, all these are from a single idea, and all these are from the talents. They don't wait for people to hire them, but they themselves be the employers, be the person who hires people. And there are a lot of companies outside, the crowdfunding company, the capital ventures company, they are looking for talents. They are looking for great, brilliant ideas to actually invest on all these people. All these are talents. So don't limit ourselves to just employment, but explore yourself. Like what Dr. Seri Raymond has always tell me, look at the greener side. Don't always confine ourselves within just a small industry. So like for example, I give you okay, I have a cup here. Okay, this is very spontaneous.
Ivonne is always spontaneous with her magic shows.
Yeah. So if I ask you to draw a cup, how will you draw a cup? Is it going to be like this? But when we draw a cup, when we take a cup at a time, do we look at a cup this way or we look at it this way? Like this. Yeah, so when you drink a coffee, like Dr. Seri Raymond mentioned, yeah, definitely it's gonna great to have a great coffee session with Dr. Seri Raymond. But when we drink coffee, the first thing we look at coffee is looking downwards. But why
Yes.
all of us are looking cup this way? So change your perspective. We are being educated and I'm not justifying the education system, but we are being programmed to look at things at one perspective. Why not broaden our perspective into looking at things at a different way?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you broaden your perspective is the people you mix with, because you are actually like a sponge. So you have to be aware of what kind of environment you are in and the people you mix with, because you are the average of 5 people that you mix with.
That is true.
Yeah. Yes. So I think whatever the procedure, Michael Teo has already emphasized on it, and I truly agree. Yes, LinkedIn is one of the way, but this is putting yourself in a different perspective into looking at employment. Why do you want to choose to be employment? Well, you can be the employer yourself. Okay.
Yes.
Nice one, Yvonne. Nice one. There you go. Two perspectives.
Good one from Yvonne and Michael. I think what Yvonne mentioned about perspective is very true, because most of the time we look in perspective in the things that we have been taught all over the years. So what Yvonne and Michael was sharing is very true. I think nowadays they talk, I mean like Chinese, they say it like 草莓族, you know 草莓族, meaning no, okay. So for those that knows about Chinese or know Mandarin, I think that those three will understand 草莓族. They always say that small things already lembek already. So I think it also depends, and also it's more towards whether we cannot be picky at this moment. If you are a talent, we have to actually go and actually venture out and look for opportunities and not just stay there. I think what Michael and Yvonne mentioned just now, there are a lot of opportunities out there. Even at this situation, even there's no opportunities, we can also create one. And also it's a good time to actually brush on our skills. Okay, without further ado, let us just do one more last question, but it's going to be interesting because I'm going to combine these two questions together. It is asked, this is posted to Dato Sri, okay, Dato Sri, about investment. So I'm going to do investment in property. So I'm just going to summarize it, okay, from Adrian Lee, okay. Hi, Dato Sri Liu. On investment purpose, your thoughts of having physical property versus pocket-sized property, and also Benjamin Law. I mean, like, just combine this together because it's about Malaysia property. And Benjamin Law, any advices for foreigners investing into Malaysia properties? Yes, Dato Sri, can we have this from you? Just combine it together.
If you look at foreigners, the recent budget 2020 allowed foreigners to invest into property, even below $1 million. I believe 600,000. It doesn't really matter whether, when we talk about properties, we talk about physical properties. Physical properties is the one that you feel and you touch. Again, bearing in mind pre-MCO and post-MCO, we are looking at property in a different perspective. So one cannot compare the pre and post as being the same, not anymore. We have to live with the new normal. The new normal is, I don't see property prices escalating as what it used to be, not anymore. You look at New York, the city that never sleeps, it is now sleeping. Paris, the most romantic city in the world, is no longer romantic because all the romance has flown off. Same thing with the city, Kuala Lumpur. If you now invest into these high-end properties, I don't see the potential, not now, not in the next 2 years. Okay, time has changed. So personally, I will not invest in property right now unless it's for your own consumption, meaning to say you're going to stay in it. May I suggest, I can see a lot of questions here. Perhaps it would be a good idea for each of the panelists to sum it up as to the survival plan, meaning to say go by the topics of today's, because you're going to almost an hour and a half and it's going a bit long. and
yes,
your
that's fine.
viewers
I
might
want to
be getting
summarize it.
tired of us. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I think what Dato Sri mentioned, there will still be some of the questions, but let's summarize it, okay? So I just want to go conclude this, all right? Today's session is going to, it's very good and so many valuable insights from everybody. And let's do just one last question for Dato Sri, will you? Okay, what's your overview tonight's topic on advocating that we need to move fast in order to survive this pandemic. So what are your strategy on this survival mode for SMEs?
Before I delve into that, for the interest of the viewers, many of them are surviving SMEs. Let me just share with you some advice from the financial perspective, or at least from tax accountants.
Yes.
To survive, I feel that business entrepreneurs need to prioritize. For example, many of them have not brought their accounts up to date for submission to both the authorities and also for the purpose of loan application. That's the reason why many of them say, I can't get a loan because your accounts are not up to date. I'm late in my submission to authorities, and you get a lot of penalties, very heavy penalties. So to those of you, and I can see some of you here who have to submit the tax return. Yes, you have until June, no worries. But if you want to borrow any money or, buying a residence, you better get your accounts up to date. You need to study your cash flow situation during and post, during as now, during MCO and post MCO. You need to really look at it seriously. How long can you last if you're an entrepreneur? 2 months, 3 months? Yeah, you need to work that out. You need to have a COVID solution as to your survival. You need accountants to help you. You need to, for example, if you're trading companies, you need to identify your closing stocks. What is happening now with your closing stock? If you're in F&B, some of your closing stock may be expiring soon, perishable items. Yeah, and you need to discard them. So before you discard them, donate them to charities, for crying out loud, instead of letting it expire and thrown down into the rubbish bin. So the things that you can do, for example, you review your debtors, customers owing you money. What can you do to turn that debts into crystallized into cash? That is also very, very important. And what about debts owing to suppliers and other service providers? Where necessary, you arrange, for deferment of these payments, and that is cash flow, and you stretch for as long as possible without jeopardizing the business relationship. At the same time, if you're an astute investors or entrepreneurs, you need to identify new suppliers for better and more competitive pricing, and that is also very important. You need to negotiate for reduction in rental, and utility charges as well. That's something you need to really look into. And if you do not need that kind of space, look into space reductions or moving on to a smaller premises. This will help you to survive. This year, it's all about survival. If you can survive, that is a profit. That is a bonus. So don't even think about expansion. Let me tell you this. I'm going to do a live talk on advertisement industries. And I'm telling people now, don't look into branding anymore. Look into marketing. Marketing is to sell and get leads. And this is what is going to turn into sales. You also need to look into, for entrepreneurs, into your staffing and perks offered to your staff. These are many areas which you need to explore. I'm just giving you a series of a number to think about, and also to review any pending contractual contracts that you have engaged into pre-MCO, and also ask your accountant for helps, any government aids, any incentive that you can benefit from it. Perhaps, I'm not going to give a whole series of areas to explore. Perhaps you should also consider some form of restructuring programs. And merger and acquisition is my one of my specialty, to beef up resources and cut off common expenses to stay efficient. Look into business continuity program. And this is another aspect which I can spend another hour telling you about it, which I'm not. But most importantly, you need to move fast. And this is where I'm going to conclude what I'm going to say to you. The immediate drastic measures that all business survivors need to do right now to address their severe cash flow problem in order to survive and ride through this pandemic. There are only 4. Very simple. Like I was about to give a scenario, I better not. Measure 1, cost-cutting exercise. And that is to reduce your monthly operating expenses in order to fill up your cash reserve for any unforeseen payments. That's measure number one. Measure number two, in order to keep your business losses to a minimum, you need to go lean. That means, those people who are, James is a bit beef up already, so too much money. Whereas Michael is better. Lean. Lean means, as in lean, slim, correct. Measure number three, perhaps, is to seriously consider letting go of non-essential stuff and or even a pay cut between 20 to 50% pay cut across the board. And finally, the way I look at things, nothing is going to improve until end of the year. So the last resort perhaps is for you to close a business and wait for the better time to come. This way, you conserve your cash. You don't have to borrow. Please don't go by the government advice. Go and borrow loan to pay off this, pay off that. Before you know it, you will be ridden with loans. So if you feel the business is going to pick up, it's not going to pick up, be brave. Okay? It's better to lose a small battle and win the war. Am I not right? So the reality of life is better lose that small battle, go lean, rest for the next 9 months, go on online learning, learn new things, and you come back stronger. On that note, back to you, Sabrina.
Wow, thank you so much. I was thinking, why so familiar? Lose the small battle and win the war. Then I realized, Michael was just mentioning about this, quoted by Datuk Sri. Wow, thank you so much. I think I personally learned a lot. I believe the viewers also learned so much as well. So I really want to say thank you so much, guys. Michael, Datuk James, Datuk Sri, and also Yvonne for having
Are we going to wrap
us.
up, by the way, Sabrina?
Yes, we're going to wrap up. So, Michael, do you have anything? Yes, we're going to wrap up already. So, Michael, do you have anything to say for us?
Well, I would love to hear what Yvonne, what Datuk James have to share as well. I think Datuk Sri Raymond gave a very encompassing view of what businesses should do as a strategy. And for those of you who know me, have heard of me, I'm more like a marketing guy. People always say when it comes to positioning, branding, marketing, and sales, I'm the go-to guy, as they say. So I would just like to wrap up in 3 steps that businesses need to do. And of course, I'm speaking to a lot that are involved in sales, marketing, either you're sales professionals or you're an agent watching this right now. I think the first 3 things you got to do is, number one, it's all about engagement. So you should focus your effort, like what Datuk Sri has mentioned, marketing, how to re-engage with your customers, but more importantly as well, reach out to new customer groups that have not been your customers yet, and how you position yourself, how you appear to add so much value to them that they see you as a trusted authority. So that would be the first step I would take. Engagement. It's about engaging with them. Number 2, it's all about generating leads and scale up. How do we do this? Is during this time, everyone is open to collaboration and joint ventures. If you don't believe me, just go and message, just go and send an email, reach out to people. They'll be happy to collaborate with you. If those that are not happy to collaborate with you, well, they are not the ones for you anyway. So reach out to them, talk to them. At the end of the day, do not give your customers the perception that because of this MCO or COVID-19, your business is also dead, you also died. You want to appear to be, hey, I'm still well, I'm still alive, but I'm kicking ass, I'm adding a lot of value. So form joint ventures, collaborations, very important. Number 3, my advice for a lot of business owners and sales professionals out there, Datuk Sri Raymond has already shared this. I think Datuk James will share this again. That is, be mindful of the community you surround yourself with. You know, in a sense, this is the time Datuk Sri Raymond mentioned about taking this time to learn. Some people are a little bit prudent. No, I don't want to learn. This is the best time to learn, because if you feel that your competitors are also resting, they also don't know what to do, you want to be able to learn and then go to them, propose such a powerful joint venture plan with them, and turn your competitors into your allies as well. That can all work. Okay, so surround yourself with people that support you, that motivate you, and people that can work with you. And last but not least, Sabrina, I just want to thank you as well for this opportunity. Thank you to both of our three, Dato and also Yvonne, for this. For those of you who have gained value from this, go to the comment section and type value. As an extension from this sharing session, as promised, I want to give more value to them. So I want to invite all of you, please. If you have time tomorrow, I am having a virtual event. I'll just post it on the comment section. I want to encourage those of you who are in business development, who need to get money for your business, join the program. I'm sure I can add more value for you there as well. Thank you. I'll post
Thank you so much.
program in the comment section. Adding value, man. Adding value. Thank you.
Yes. Those that have value and feel that you are value added, please post in a comment. Yvonne and Dato James, do you have anything last advice for the audience?
Seriously unfair to ask for last advice, because we took I don't know how long to study just the A, P, Z to Z, right? But what I'll try is this: studying over 300 books and studying over many recessions. There are only two parts you need to remember, okay? Two parts. Part one, your heart must be aligned to your head, and the skills and the tools, they must be one straight line like a sniper, okay? Number one, because if you can upskill as much as you want, you can find the best tools you want, you even can have the best body if you want, right? But if your mind is not there, you're halfway there. But if your heart is not there, you're nowhere there. Part one is your heart, your head, the skills and the tool must be aligned. That's the first part. Part two is less, so I like to share high level and eye level strategies. High level, that was more of a conscious level. Eye level strategies are simply this: the longest research ever done in history. Only one company did it. It's a $20 billion research done in US. They studied more than 15,000 generals, surgeons, CEOs, and billionaires. They studied this, and they studied what are their three most important things that they need to ride recessions, and they thrive. That means they make the most amount of money during the worst time where everyone's crying, okay? Number one, Raymond Liu said it, Dr. Raymond Liu said it perfectly: prioritize. The biggest challenges with leaders, they don't know how to prioritize. Everything's a shiny object, like a cat seeing a torchlight. Number one is prioritize. So what are your priorities right now? Number one. Number two, hiring. You'll be surprised. That's why Michael Teo is doing so well. You know, he's living in a big house, winning a lot of awards, because it's all about hiring. That's why his company name is called Thriving Talents, right? And the last one is relationships. How do you build long-lasting relationships with the people you have? Only three things. I wish you well, Sabrina. I wish you, Yvonne, Dr. Raymond. I learned so much today. Michael, it's been a pleasure. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, let's hear it from Yvonne. Any last advice to our audience here?
Okay, first of all, I truly learned a lot even to the session today. I think I don't need to even enroll to any course. Here got three master itself already shared a lot from three different topics in one session. My God, how much values you get here. But for my side, because every one of you are talking from a business, marketing, and also Dr. Seri Raymond talking about finances. So I think for me, I'm more towards a wealth planning. So I would like to use a scenario to summarize whatever I mentioned. So for example, Formula One, okay, a motor car. So when a Formula One, a motor car, at the starting point, in fact, you need a huge amount of fuel for you to reach your finishing line. But you can't carry so big tank of fuel, because it will actually drag you apart. It will drag you down. It will slow you down, and you cannot finish at the finishing line at the optimum performance. So that is why at Formula One contest, there is a pit stop. What is the purpose of a pit stop? It's actually for you to change a lighter tire, and most importantly, to refuel. And then so that you can perform at the optimum performance and to reach your finishing line in the most efficient way. So that is financial planning. That is wealth planning. At the beginning line, you know that you need this kind of wealth. You need this kind of financial planning to achieve your goal. But it may be too huge at that point of time. But as you move on, you need to travel light in order for you to move on fast. So that's why we say it's not being about the fittest, but being the fastest. Okay. Then when you reach the pit stop, that's where you gear on, you change your tire, you refuel. That's where you need to review your insurance policy and also your financial plans for you to scale up, for you to be more efficient, so that you can achieve your financial goal and dreams even at the optimal speed, just like Formula One. That's why pit stop is very important. That's why it's not being the fittest car, but the fastest car that reached the finishing point. So I hope it actually sum up to what I with the topic today about business survival, not being the fittest, the fastest. Okay, thank you. Pass to you back, Sabrina.
Thank you so much for all the special panelists today. I myself, I've learned a lot. I am actually on the side jotting down notes because they are like, wow, Dato' Raymond got 3 points. So I like to tell, oh, 3 points. Then James got another point. Then Michael, oh, Michael, you're doing it. So this session has been invaluable. It's so good. I believe everybody has benefited so much. I want to say thank you so much, Dato' James, Dato' Sri, and also Michael for giving so much of valuable insights to us and also spending your time with us. Just want to say thank you so much. And yes, we shall end this session today. All right. Thank you so much, everyone that came in.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Stay in
much. Thank
touch.
you.
Let's stay in touch. Thank you.
Bye.